Hello there, World of Tankers, I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to effectively sidescrape, which is a pretty simple term in theory. However, I've learned through about an hour and a half of trying to get some good replays and other stuff like that sidescraping is really a tricky thing to do, not only because of these specific maps you land on, but as well what you really need to do when to sidescrape. But at the same time, sidescraping is a very simple concept. So of course, as always, you guys did vote and decided that you wanted to see this video pop up next on my channel. So if you want to see more videos like this and vote on my new polls, make sure to slap that subscribe button down below. So Desert Sand, in my opinion, is one of the best maps for sidescraping in the game, and one of the only few maps you really can sidescrape in. And I'm going to be playing a live game after I do show you what sidescraping pretty much is, to either show you that it's very hard to get into a scenario where you can effectively sidescrape, or a scenario where I do end up sidescraping. So you're going to see me pushing over to base C, and this is pretty much the Goldilocks position for like an IS-4, IS-7, let's say the Russian IS-5, some of the Chinese heavies, because all sidescraping really is putting your tank on a wall like this, angling it a little bit, and that's it. That's the whole definition of sidescraping. You're pretty much putting your tank on a wall and scraping the side. So right now, the enemy can't really shoot at my weak lower plate, and, you know, like this angle they're in front of me, yeah, good luck penetrating my tank there. But of course, you don't want people to shoot your pike nose. The reason I picked the IS-7 specifically is because a lot of people said that Russian tanks can't sidescrape. And I personally do not agree with that, because at an angle like this, nobody is penetrating my tank. I can drive forward and backwards, and nothing is going to penetrate that pike nose on my vehicle. So you wait for somebody to bounce you. Let's say Bob is over here with his simple tank. Well, he shoots me in that spot there. That shell is most likely going to ricochet in this angle. Now, there are some high penetration rounds that can overmatch side armor, but most of the time, heat shells and other rounds are going to bounce right off of spaced armor in a tank, and that's why sidescraping can be super effective. But about an hour ago, I tried recording a video on sidescraping, and I had a lot of replays. You'll see here, I had just a crazy amount of games in all types of Russian tanks, and that's not even the most of them. But I'm going to be pulling out a tier 8 vehicle because I think it's easier to try and show sidescraping in a tier 8 tank. So let's pull out, you know what, let's do the newly buffed IS-6 tanks. And this will be a good way to show sidescraping, because this sort of has a pike nose-ish design. It's got the plates on the side, sort of like an IS-4. So the IS-6 has great side armor. It's got pretty steep angles on the side, and hopefully we're going to be getting in a map that I can show sidescraping effectively. Now, maps that are good, as I said, Desert Sands is a good one. If you're going any town flat map, sort of like vineyards, if you're pushing town on vineyards, very good map for sidescraping. Alpenstadt, again, if you're pushing town, a great map for sidescraping. Dynasty's Pearl, another great map, but this is only in town heavy route, because, of course, if you're going to the medium side, it's going to be a very, very bad map. Now, this map could either be really good or really bad at the same time, because I'm going to try and push heavy route. Of course, I want to show you guys sidescraping effectively, so I'm going to push heavies. So I'm going to say heavies go this way. And that way, you know, if the enemy team I'm praying goes this way, I can effectively sidescrape and show you guys how to do that. But at the same time, if they don't go this way, then that's the part where sidescraping falls apart. So, you know, when I started doing this video, I was thinking, you know what, why do people struggle sidescraping? Because it's a pretty simple term in my mind. You just go up against the wall and you angle your tank. There's nothing really to it. But I started thinking, you know what, sidescraping is really tough, not because of the term itself, but trying to get into a sidescraping position. This guy must have had too many beers, because I got no clue what he's doing. But sidescraping, getting into the right position, is something that's very tough and a lot of people struggle with. So let's hope that the enemy team does push their heavies this way. We're about to find out, and yes. Oh, thank you. IS-8, why? What are you guys doing? So I'm actually going to be putting my tank in a reverse sidescraping position here. So what that means is I am putting my weak butt of my tank hidden. So that way the enemy team is only looking at the thick part of me. So this is actually another super, super effective way to sidescrape your tank. I'm going to be doing that here this entire time while I can. I would love to get that RHM, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. This IS-8, I got no clue what my heavies are doing, but they obviously don't know themselves what they're doing either. Let's tap that RHM and hit him in the gun barrel. How fun. So it's pretty much just me right now. And again, I'm going to be sidescraping here. This is reverse sidescraping, another very effective tactic. But as you can see, does seem to be working. So let's get this KV-4 once. Nice, extremely low roll into the side of his tank. But I'm not worried at all about the enemy team penning me. Well, you know what? I actually don't know where that penned me, to be honest. I should have kept my mouth shut, but I really have no clue where that shell actually hit me. because, that's my luck. But let's try again here. Let's load a standard shell, and, IS6, muy accurate. Again, I'm just going to keep side scraping here. You can see my side armor is bouncing the shells, my thick, thick side armor. That is the whole point of the term. But it looks like this is going to be a very short-lived battle because, yeah, my team, not necessarily a good team, I can say that. All right. So let's try and finish off this KV4 real quick. There we go. And again, I'm going to try and side scrape against this Luva here. We're going to see if we can. Let's angle it out. Maybe the RHM. No, RHM is overmatching our side armor. That makes sense. But I do, there you go, you can see again, another bounce on the side armor against the tank like the Luva. So it does do a great job at side scraping, especially like the IS6. You can do a good job side scraping in these types of tanks. It's just that sometimes, like in this type of map, yeah, it can be very tough. At least we got an HE out there. But yeah, our team, I got no clue what our IS8 did there, but I just at least got to show you guys an effective scenario where side scraping actually really works. But at the same time, you don't always need the side scrape. So I'm going to play one more game, and let's do the IS6 again. And I'm going to be showing you scenarios in this tank where I don't side scrape, because you don't always need to put your tank in a side scraping position. There, yeah, that was great. I could have sat there the whole game against those heavy tanks and pretty easily beat them until our team actually... I don't even know how our team fell apart that bad. That could have been on a worst teams episode. But until our team fell apart there, I could have easily kept side scraping that entire time. And you can see there's really nothing to it. What I did there in the i6 was called reverse side scraping. So what that means is you're hiding your butt behind the wall, and your weak, or not your weak frontal armor, but of course your frontal armor is very easily penned. But if you're hiding your butt, that means that you can sort of turn the tank into a rear-turreted vehicle. That way you can pull out, show your extremely strong Russian side armor, and bounce a lot of shells. So IS's, pretty much all IS series tanks do great at side scraping. Charioteer, I don't want you pushing me. Alright, so here we go. So I gotta be very careful again. They've got quite a bit of heavies, and I don't want to be hit by them. So this is a scenario, I'm not sure what this Charioteer is doing, but this is a scenario where you don't want to side scrape. I'm sticking out my strong frontal armor so that enemy tanks, if they end up pulling around this corner, I can do a good job bouncing them. So I was thinking, you know what, side scraping, yeah, it's effective, but at the same time, why would I want to show you guys just a replay where I'm only side scraping? Now, of course, that IS8 there didn't really do a good job, but like this type of map here, this is an example of how are you supposed to side scrape in a map like this? You can't. And that's the biggest issue, is that certain games you just can't side scrape even when you try so hard. So we got the Leopard PTA right there. Not much I can do about that. Oof, Leopard did get a shell into us. It's that M6 EXP I really want to get because I can't tap him right now. So let's just back up here, try and get into a safe spot. Come on, I want to get that Leopard, and thank you very much. So here we go. This is a scenario where I'm not side scraping, using my thick turret armor, angling my hull up so this guy can't penetrate us. I'm actually pretty solid that this guy won't be able to pen us with any of these shells. So let's back down this hill again, get another nice tap into him. So this is a scenario where I'm trying to show that you really can't side scrape in all types of the battles, because it's something that I learned very, very hard. I thought, you know what, this is going to be a super easy video. Let's just get one game out showing side scraping, but it really was quite tough. And that was actually the luckiest game I got, and it still was an awful, awful battle where the teams just completely fell apart. So let's try and finish off this M6 here. Now this is a scenario where I could end up side scraping, but I'm not going to, because you can see the M6 is already fired. So let's just tap a shell into the lower plate of this M6. Oof, a little bit too low that shell went there, but now I'm going to side scrape. So as you can see, again, I'm side scraping on this dead ISU carcass here, and this should effectively work as long as this M6 doesn't hit our weak spot, which it looks like he did. Yeah, right into that weak spot. So you can see we did get an effective side scrape out though here. This is again another scenario where I'm trying my best to side scrape the tank. This M6 I'm not too worried about. Let's just finish you off. Again, probably right through the roof of the turret, as you can see, overmatching it. So ISs, yes, they do side scrape effectively. You saw last game I was able to do it. But at the same time, if you have tanks like the M6 Experimental, you can see shells powdered all over my vehicle, through the turret. I've got shells on the roof of the turret, on the weak spots on the side. It is very hard sometimes to get into an effective side scrape. But again here, we're going to try side scraping the tank. We're going to see how it does work. Let's see if we can get the lucky bounce in here. There you go. You can see another bounce right on the side scraping tank. So side scraping does work. And don't get me wrong, I do think it's very effective. But I also wanted to prove in this video that it's not always the correct thing to do, because you can do a lot of other tricks and little scenarios where not always side scraping is the correct thing. So here we go, I'm going to face hug this guy. Oof, he pinched right through the upper plate. This tank has good armor, but it's not necessarily the best. We hit the gun there, but thankfully we have some teammates. We were coming out with a victory here, so this was actually a good battle to show all different types of scenarios. I was able to show that side scraping, while it is effective, isn't always the right thing, because you saw me there against that M6, it didn't necessarily work, and we did end up dying in the end of this game. Still a pretty hefty battle though. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think is more effective, side scraping or going on about using your turn armor and other things in Russian heavies? I think it's a mix of both. If you do have a good scenario, like in the Mine Runes game, let's pretend our team actually worked. That would have been a great spot. I could have sat there the whole game and done great work bouncing shells. That Luva bounced about 3 shells off us. We could have bounced as many shells as we needed to in that scenario, so that was fine. But in Yukon, since it's such a hilly terrain like that Leopard, there's no way I could have ever side scraped. That M6, it would have been better off if I just stayed around the corner, used my turn armor, because of course that would have been better than putting my tank side scraping on that dead ISU hull. So there are many different scenarios where using the same tank is very effective in different scenarios, and that's what I love about this game, is there's so many different attributes to it. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. If you agree, you disagree, but hopefully I did exemplify the term of side scraping. So of course, if you like this video, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.